A new world. A world covered by a grid-like fabric. A plane that extends endlessly in the horizon, which ends are only stopped by the appearance of fog or mountains. People free to roam wherever they want, not chained by primate needs of mankind. Everything is available from the grid itself. Because all things are in abundance, and nothing has to be worked for. People are able to bond, socialize, travel, stay, be creative or be lazy, be together, communicate, love, hate. It's social relationships that now are the primary needs of people. Basic needs like food, water, shelter, heat, cold, even sleep are all covered and given to us by the grid. The grid supplies mankind and enables it to live in a nomadic way, allowing us to roam the plains and stop wherever we want, or continue however we will. Joseph, an inhabitant of this plain, well respected for his kindness and intelligence, is walking up to the grid as usual. He feels like his primary needs need to be supplemented, and therefore walks to the port where he can get his basic needs. However, when doing so, Joseph changes his normal ritual. Instead of immediately taking what he needs and then going back to his social life to continue the conversations he had, he begins to wander. Something which he hasn't done in a long time. It's something about the fog this time that makes him feel different. It isn't normal, it isn't usual, it's different. Joseph had not ever really paid attention to the fog. No one has. It's always been there, just far away enough so you cannot touch it, and just close enough so you can see it. But beyond there, I don't know. Just more plains, I guess. I can see the edge of the mountain, but what's underneath? Just more and more endless plains to roam. But I'm not going there, thinks Joseph. I've got my socials here, my group is here, why would I move? Yet today is different. There's something about this fog. Why is this plane here? Why is he here? Will he be here? He starts to think. He has been on this plane for so long. He knows every small difference in people when they change behaviors. He can see the smallest psychological changes in people's faces, in their way of thinking. And now he sees something in the fog, something that has changed. He's not stupid. He decides to wander off for just a bit, to try to test the fog. If the plane is really that limitless. Yes, he can still see the mountain's edge, and where he's walking there is still plain. But will this continue? He decides to keep on walking. testing the limits of not only himself but the fog. There's this boiling urge of exploration and curiosity, yet he knows that every step is just going to give him more tiles, more grids, more lines, more intersections, but yet he still wants to keep going. Walking and walking. More and more he starts to question if this is really all the life there is. Is this my purpose? It can't be, right? This grid. There's something about this grid, he realizes. All the things around me change, but the plane doesn't change. It never changes. How? More important, why? Why is it here? He thinks as he keeps stumbling more and more into the fog, seeing yet more tiles and grids beneath him appear. He is baffled by what he finds. Something which he has never seen upon the plane. Of course, there have been stories of weird so-called discoverings by people, but they were all stories to get more social gain. Yet he looks at this object with confusion. He thinks, if the plane is always here to nurture me and give me my basic needs, then this must be an answer to my curiosity. Instinctively, taught by many years of using the plane to sustain himself, he tries to interact with the object that is in front of him. No one has been this curious yet, so maybe he's the first to use it. He does not question why it is there. He does not question how it is there, because that's how it has been his entire life. There has always been a grid, there has always been a system, a network, which provides him with all his needs. This is normal, yet different this time. Joseph decides to go for it. He enters what seems to be an entrance, some sort of gate, and what he finds next shocks him. A totally new world filled with smog and smoke, with big chimneys towering in the distance. It's filled with people dressed in grey, dirty clothes. Sad faces, infections, scars, people sweating. It's different than back home, he thinks. What is all this? Who are these poor souls left here to rot? And then he realizes that even though they are also people, they are not the same. They don't have a grid like he does. They can't just go to the lines, to the intersection, and fulfill their basic needs. These people do different things than just talking. It's obvious. He can see that instantly. but he's confused by what they are doing. Grabbing things, bending things, making things. Why? Eventually, he finds out the painful truth. These people living in severe poverty, something which he has never seen in his own eyes, have been powering the grid upon which he has nourished, on which he has grown for tens and tens of years. He has enjoyed the fruits of the labor of these malnourished people. Joseph is overwhelmed by a feeling of guilt. He cannot accept that he has exploited and used these people in such a disgraceful manner. His entire life, he and all his friends and families and enemies have been blind to this expulsion of these people.